you're throwing up in the street. Are we near the level of alcohol poisoning? Like, I just have, there's a lot of clues here that tell me the level of intoxication is high. So,
That was such a
also,
clinical way to say the level of intoxication is high.
what can I say? My training is coming out. Hello, and welcome to Verite. My name is Katie, and I'm with my co host Ashley. Today, we are going to talk about the song It's Different. And as always, we are not therapy, but we are a good time. And Ashley, I'd love for you to start us out by telling us what made you select this song.
This song makes me laugh a lot. It's a like little boppy song. She talks about throwing up at the club and it makes me laugh. Um, I have never been to a club. That's my confession for the day. But it makes me laugh anyway. There are a couple of things that I found interesting about this song. So one was the line catastrophic blues, because we know that blue is a color she uses for a particular person that she references. And there's also a Barbie reference in this song. So I used to switch out these Kens and Ghost, which also, like, anytime she references Ken, that makes me giggle. And also I feel like doesn't she say that in My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys
Yes,
in TTPD?
yes.
So good. But it reminded me too of an Antihero, which we just covered. She says, I used to ghost people or go people I ghosted stand in the room. That's not the direct quote, but like people I ghosted are standing in the room. And so I just thought that was an interesting like connection too.
Mhm.
But yeah, we need to talk about some coping today, Katie.
Yeah,
We've got some coping to do.
we've got coping to do.
So that's why I chose this song.
So fun. So, Ashley, thanks for answering that and kind of giving an overview. Basically, our songwriter is going through a pretty bad uh, bump in a relationship, and she's having a hard time coping with it. And her lyrics are a little unhinged, also really sad, even though the vibe of the song is like so upbeat. Um, what are some of the lyrics that you'll be highlighting, Ashley?
It hits different because it's you. Now the sun burns my heart and the sand hurts my feelings. I never don't cry at the bar. My sadness is contagious. Is that your key in the door? Is it okay? Is it you? Or have they come to take me away?
You like perfectly hit on like the sad, the unhinged. So good.
How about you, Katie? What lyrics stood out to you?
Each bar plays our song. Catastrophic blues, moving on was always easy for me to do. I used to switch out these Kens, I just ghost. I slur your name till someone puts me in the car, throwing up on the street. Um, and rip the band-aid off and skip town like an asshole outlaw. Freedom felt like summer then on the coast, and then now the sun hurts my heart and the sand hurts my feelings. So kind of similar to you.
I knew that this song was hilarious from hearing it, but hearing us say the lyrics without the music,
Like when you just like read the lyrics, you're like, this is a really funny song.
Taylor, what's happening?
It's so true. It is actually maybe one of my favorite parts on our podcast is when we just like read the lyrics and you like hear yourself say it outside of like the melody and you're like, what is that?
Oh, it's so good. I'm already crying because I'm
I love
laughing.
it. The countdown
Um,
till Ashley's tears wasn't long this time.
we're like 6 minutes in. Oh
Okay,
man.
so questions. Would you like to lead us with what questions you would ask the song as if they were a client, Ashley?
Yeah, thanks for bringing us back. Um, Okay, what was different about this one? Why does this person hit different and have such like a strong connection? What what else do you do to cope besides drink alcohol?
Could you imagine if you like asked it just like that? What else do you do besides drink?
How do you feel when your friends say love is a lie? I could see that that could be maybe a little invalidating, depending on how it's said, or maybe all the time. Um,
Maybe all
maybe,
the time. Maybe that's just all that they say.
maybe. Have you had a pain like this before? Because this is some intense pain that she's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. How about
yeah.
you?
Good questions. Yeah, so I'm gonna read some of the lyrics. Like the catastrophic blues, moving on was always easy for me to do, and I used to switch out these Kens I just ghost. So you're kind of telling a story that this is outside your norm. Usually you can walk away pretty easily. And what made it easy for you to do that in the past? To love somebody and just move on. Also, is there a substance use issue? Like drowning your
Is there?
sorrows at the bar. You're slurring, this person's name until someone puts you in the car, which makes me wonder, can you walk to the car? You're throwing up in the street. Are we near the level of alcohol poisoning? Like I just have, there's a lot of clues here that tell me the level of intoxication is high. So
That was such a
also,
clinical way to say the level of intoxication is high.
what can I say? My training is coming out.
Oh,
And
it's so
then
good.
I never don't cry at the bar. So like this is habitual. So, and then each bar plays our song. How many bars are you going to? And they're all playing your song.
Why
So,
did you choose such a popular song?
yeah, exactly. Why did you? Um, so it just seems like everything is reminding you of your past relationship and you're finding it intolerable. So maybe talk to somebody about this. Um, And then my last question is, what made you curse the space that you needed? And maybe we can reframe that. If you needed the space, maybe that meant something. Um, so at one point in the song, you're indicating that you're unhappy that you needed space. But how did you know you needed space, and what makes you upset in some way that was necessary?
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I was hoping you would bring up that lyric. Do you have, I know I'm going rogue. Do you have any thoughts about that line?
Curse the space that you needed, or
Yeah,
this is first the space that I needed. Uh, I hear attention in her parts in this lyric. Like one part needed space and the other part is upset that you needed space because like at the start of the song, she talks about like waiting for a bus that never comes and you walking away. Like so it's like this idea of like I'm waiting for something that's never coming and then while I was waiting, you decided to walk away. So it's almost like I initiated the space but then you actually walked away during that space and I wasn't ready for that. So it almost seems to be like telling a story there and so it kind of makes me wonder if like you're in tension with yourself. You're wanting this person to be or act in a certain way that they're not and you're not really ready to let go, but you also feel like you can't stay under the circumstances. So I'm reading into it a lot, but that's a little bit of like the backstory that my mind creates in the song.
yeah. Ooh, that's really good. I was curious about your thoughts when I heard the song.
What about
Um,
yours? Do you have any thoughts to your own question? It was such a good question.
I don't know. Before we move on, I want to say in therapist speak, when we talk about someone's parts, we're talking about their like internal family systems, like emotional parts. So I know we've talked about internal family systems before, but for therapists, we know what we mean. For somebody who isn't a therapist, they could hear that in a different way.
Yes, yes, you're so right. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just like our language oftentimes kind of reflects like a part of me wants this and a part of me wants that. Like
exactly.
IFS or internal family systems takes that very literally and says like there are multiple parts in you who have different needs and different roles, and they oftentimes compete and cause us to have internal conflict and tension. And so we need to resolve that tension by having our parts communicate.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, I think I cursed the space that I needed. I think you're spot on. I don't have any other thoughts based on what you said. I didn't even know what to think, but I agree with you. I think that you're right. Like, why did I have to have space? And is it okay that you did? The answer is yes.
Yes, it is, and it means something.
It does. It does.
Ashley, what would
Um,
you normalize and validate? As I just jumped the gun there. I hope that's okay.
no, that's great. Sometimes pain is so intense you can physically feel it. And that's often a sign of like either a really intense experience or trauma. Um, Things that didn't used to bother you or get noticed feel scorching. Um, and paranoia about the worst case scenario can also be called like hypervigilance. So when she's talking about like the key turning in the door, that can come with trauma. Like you're just kind of like heightened, waiting for the next, issue. Or yeah, I'm super curious how you interpreted that line too. But in my mind, it was like, is it you? Are they coming to take me away? Like, what's happening? And it seems like that theme comes up in a couple of different songs too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I didn't spend too much time thinking about that one. I guess I kind of imagined that the protagonist is like in the house somewhere hearing the key and thinks that, oh, that must be this other person's key. Like they're coming home. And then it's like, oh, but what if they're not? Like what if like I'm actually crazy? Or maybe what if there's an intervention because of my substance use? Like, and they're gonna take me to rehab. Like, I don't know.
yeah, or are they coming to take me away because I keep thinking that that person is coming back?
Yeah, like I'm losing it in some way. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, and there are some fan theories that like it's different is kind of a segue into TTPD of have they come to take me away, and then we start with Fortnite and like they're taking
Oh,
me away. So
huh. Was I never thought about that. What was the last Midnight song released? Was it Hits Different or You're Losing Me?
so on the original release it was Hits Different, and then it became You're Losing Me. Like that was like a bonus track that got released later. And that one was kind of like an odd release, at least in my understanding, because like it kind of came out in other countries, right? And then it was released in the US or something like that. Like there was some
Oh,
kind of release where like it wasn't streaming on platforms, and then all of a sudden it was released. Like
okay.
if any of our listeners know the fuller story, please comment. Like or email us. We want to know.
Help us.
Yes,
Someone
help
help.
us out here. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, that's really interesting. I was curious, yeah, the last one moving into because I could see a lot of midnights going into TTPD for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Hits Different is where it ends on the Midnights. And on the Till Dawn edition, then we have The Snow on the Beach featuring more Lana Del Rey and then Karma featuring Ice Spice.
okay.
So that was like the album like technically ended on Hits Different. So
Okay.
have they come to take me away? And then it's like, yes, they did. They took me away like to a mental institution.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's really interesting. How about you, Katie? What would you validate?
Yeah. So I'm going to read one of the lyrics that kind of inspired my normalization and validation. Dreams of your hair and your stare and sense of belief of the good in the world, you once believed in me. So this seems to be implying that the person once believed that she was the good in the world and that they maybe no longer believe that she's good in the world. And like I hadn't like until I studied this song in preparation for this episode, I hadn't really considered that like you believed I was good in the world. Am I good in the world if you don't believe that anymore? And so I wondered like can you believe that for yourself? Like first of all, that's so sad. If somebody like stops believing that you're good or believing in your goodness, like in what you have to offer, like that's incredibly sad. That's a devastating to experience it. But if we process that, what kind of self-reflection do you need to do so that you can believe and validate your own good in the world? Like even if somebody stops believing in that, one, can you maybe reflect? Is there something maybe that I need to challenge or change or consider? And then on the other hand, can I validate it for myself that like I do think I bring to the world, even if other people don't see it that way?
Hmm. Yeah. Can you say that last part again? Can I validate that for myself?
Yeah, can you believe in your own good that you bring into the world, even if other people don't?
That's so good.
Are there any things about the song that you would challenge, Ashley?
Yeah, my challenge and recommendations kind of like the lines got a little blurred um with this one. So however you want to categorize these, but find supportive, validating friends. Um, and I said like self-care and recovery. What I mean by that is like like internally, not just like getting nails done, but like truly like how can we internally care for you right now in this like intense pain? Um, and then there are other coping options besides alcohol.
Let's explore those. Actually, that's a great question, Ashley. Could you name maybe one or two coping skills that you like to either practice yourself or recommend to clients, or what is like a coping skill that you are a fan
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Um, So I'm going to go back to the lyric, now the sun burns my heart and the sand hurts my feelings. So for coping in that situation where like everything feels so sensitive, um, the way that I personally like recover and recharge is like time alone with like very calming activities. So calming activities for me include things like reading or like going for a walk or probably without my dogs.
with?
Um, or like talking with a friend over like coffee or tea. Those are some of the things that I do when I feel like I need to recharge.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have any favorites?
Yeah, like you said, really kind of depends on what the nature of the situation is. But I think that in this situation, with the sand and sun, it sounds like maybe processing with not friends would be a good idea. Like it sounds like you're going to your friends and they're saying shit that's unhelpful. And so if you're finding that, then maybe looking to find somebody else. Maybe that could be a therapist or maybe that could be a mentor, somebody who's a little bit outside of the situation and maybe not a peer, who could offer a little bit of perspective. Um, Another might be looking for ways to express your feelings and like again not necessarily through alcohol but like what could it look like for you to face your feelings through journaling, what could it look like to find music that seems to put that into words for you and kind of singing that, or what could it look like for you to spend time outside in a way that is like you said less stimulating like the sand and the sun, but maybe it's uh, somewhere outside in the forest or maybe there's a wooded area or like a brook or something like that that's like really calming, very soothing, the sound of water, things like
Yeah, I love that. That's really good. What would you challenge in this song?
I would challenge the protagonist of the song to leave a relationship well, because it doesn't sound like you left prior relationships well, calling yourself an asshole outlaw. like, like she's not being kind to herself. Um, so I think that this song, like we kind of talked about, seems to be implying that a relationship was kind of rushed, like leaving the relationship was rushed. And, the part that maybe wanted a break and the part that wasn't ready. Um, so maybe, maybe just processing your own regret that you left before you
Ooh.
were ready, or
Hmm.
you created an opportunity for a break and then somebody else decided that they were done. Because I really do believe that, how well we leave something sets us up for how well we can enter into something else. And if we've really not left well, then we can't begin well. And I understand that sometimes, a situation may not allow us to leave well, like the circumstances are just really broken and sad, and there's nothing that we can quote unquote fix about it. But how could a person determine for themselves what it means to leave well? So, for example, did you leave in alignment with your values? Did you respect yourself? Did you respect the other person? Um, were you honest and authentic? Did you say what you needed to say? Did you withhold something? Um, I think those are ways in which we can leave well and will set us up for the future, even if it doesn't necessarily mean that we get a peaceful closure experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really powerful, Katie. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you. Thanks for asking. Um, any recommendations? I know you kind of mentioned that your challenge and recommendations kind of flowed together, so I'm curious where you might pick up for that for recommendations.
So recommendations wise, I said don't drink alone or when you're feeling really intense pain because that can increase alcohol addiction. And then embrace feelings and reach out for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like succinct to the point, but like absolutely addressing that substance use. Yeah. Um, So I think similarly to what you were saying, like I kind of recommend getting closure in a way that works for you, recognizing that that may or may not involve the other person because they can choose their participation. Shit your friends is saying is clearly not working. So go somewhere else. The bar isn't helping you get through, like you've tried that. So maybe you write a letter addressed to the fire, right? Like maybe you write a letter to that other person and you can choose whether or not to send it. Say what you need to say and then move forward. Um, and then in regards to encouragement, if I can just kind of flow into that, um, I would really encourage this person to consider what if you could be your best self, even if the relationship is over. Like there's a lyric that I could still melt your world, argumentative, antithetical dream girl. And like I just that's such a fun lyric, right? It kind of speaks to like there's great things about me. I could still be that great person, but it's kind of written in the context of like I could still be that great person for you. And what if you could just be that great person for yourself or for other people if they've chosen to walk away from you?
Yeah. Oh, that's so good, Katie. Well done.
Thank you. Ashley, what about your encouragement? I'm eager to hear.
Yeah. You can get through this. You don't need to be taken away and you have support. You don't need to go to a facility unless you really feel like you do. And yeah, finding, like you said, like finding healthy support would be helpful. But um, this it will not feel this intense forever.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much to our listeners for coming along on this journey. If you'd like to have any comments or request a song, please reach out to us at Therate Podcast on Instagram or theratepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, Jeremy, for being our editor, and we will see you for our next episode.